everybody. Look who it is. The star of the new movie, The Good House, Sigourney Weaver. The new movie is out this Friday, The Good House. You play Hildy Good. Who is Hildy?
Hildy Good is a descendant of Sarah Good, who was one of the Salem witches. But this story is about, it was the chance for me to tell a story of an older woman from her point of view, who's very funny, who we meet at a very delicate time in her life when her husband has left her, her kids have sent her to rehab, she's losing her business, and she's feeling very pissed off. And so she looks at the camera and she tells you exactly what she's thinking.
Oh, in the middle of scenes, she breaks the fourth wall.
Yeah.
And just, all right.
And it felt very natural because, of course, Hildy always, like we all do, has a public face.
Sure.
Keeping it all together, successful, taking care of her family. And then every now and then she just lets her hair down and says, "Can you believe the that I'm in? Oh, I'm so sorry. Can you believe what's going on with my life?"
Yeah.
And she's great company. It's sort of like being in a bar with someone you really like, you know.
It was filmed in Nova Scotia. Was there any water work in this one?
Actually, there was, now that you mention it.
Did you have to hold your breath for 6.5 minutes in this one?
It was quite worse than that. They had just had a week where they were tagging these great white sharks that were right offshore, like 50 feet offshore. They tagged about 12 of them. That happened to be the week that I got to go in the water at about 5 o'clock in the morning. They'd run out of water. The tide had gone down.
That's shark feeding time.
Yes, and exactly. And so they were going to have to take me out in a boat and have me do the swimming scene. I'm a little drunk. I whip my bra off and swing it around. And, you know, I'm just enjoying myself in the water.
Yeah.
And anyway, luckily, they found a kind of pool with some very large lobsters in it. They removed the lobsters, so I was able to dive and do the scene, which...
Or else the lobsters would have dragged you down?
Lobsters would have definitely gotten me.
Dipped you in drawn butter.
Yes,
If they could find any. This is... Kevin Kline is, as we saw in that, driving the truck. He's... Love interest, is that the
I think that's
love
what
interest?
you'd
Okay,
call him.
what have you guys done together?
We did Dave. We
Sure,
did
oh, sure.
Ice Storm.
Yeah, Ice Storm, there you go.
He's wonderful in Dave.
Yeah.
Ice Storm, where we're not really friends, although we're sleeping together. And then this one is sort of our most satisfying love story, I think.
Well, why is this more I mean, obviously, Ice Storm is not the most satisfying love story, but...
Well, he plays the most wonderful garbage man.
Who is your, like, high school
He's my
crush?
high school sweetheart, and I finally have come to my senses, and I realize that, you know, Frank Getchel's pretty special. And anyway, it's a wonderful love story, also a comedy, also a story about a woman who comes home at the end of a day and kicks back and opens a bottle of forbidden Pinot Noir that she's not supposed to drink and gets loaded and talks to her dogs and the audience.
Well...
It's a wonderful part for me. I'm very, very lucky.
Speaking of, you know, youthful crushes, Saturday is your 38th anniversary.
Oh, that's true.
With your husband, Jim. Here you are.
Yeah.
A few years back. You said this, you once said this about marriage, it's very beautiful. It is like an energy, a wonderful fire that never goes out underneath you to help you go out into the world and do your damnedest. How does that, you did say something didn't you?
Yeah.
It's really, it's very beautiful and very true, you know? A good marriage lets you have courage out there in the world.
Well, I think that's very true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did it start? How did you guys meet?
It didn't start well. I actually was at the Williamstown Theater Festival, and I went to this place called the Zoo, which is the bar, and I was there with Christopher Walken. We were colleagues. Mm-hmm. I wanted to take my shoes off, and there was a very cute bartender, and he said, "Don't take your shoes off." I said, "Why not?" He said, "Because the floor is dirt, and you shouldn't, there are things in there." I said, "Eh." And so I gave him my shoes to put behind the bar, and at the end of the night, I had to ask him to give me my shoes back, which he'd put up on a pole somewhere. Anyway, I then invited him to a birthday party of mine, and he came. And I asked him out to dinner. He was a few years younger than I was.
Yes.
And so I had to play the aggressive person. So I'm glad I was the aggressive person.
It worked out.
Yeah.
Sigourney, it was lovely to see you.
It's so good to
Thank
see
you
you
so much for
too.
being here again. The Good House is in theaters this Friday. It's Sigourney Weaver, everybody. We'll be right back with star of FBI, Zico Zaki.